Welcome back to the PlayStation Randomizer, where I'm still shaking off the rust of taking time off and don't even remember what episode number this is. Whoops. But today's pick is a super long title. Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight. That's obnoxious. Pretty solid Metacritic ratings though, and it's a Metroidvania, so that seems promising. Let's check it out. This is another game that I briefly played before, but found the difficulty right off the start to be prohibitive, but I'm glad I was able to give it another chance because I do really like the art style and the overall Metroidvania element of it all. But that all being said, this time it's still prohibitively difficult, honestly. It's a really good game, don't get me wrong, but it's more of a me issue. If you like hard games, this is probably right up your alley. The combat is a blend of melee and ranged with a very basic dodge roll and a double jump for getting around and avoiding enemies, but the challenge comes from just how hard all the enemies hit. Especially when 2 or 3 enemies get to sync up their attacks and hit you in a nearly unavoidable scenario, it can quickly be an insta-death, and while safe checkpoints are fairly generous, it still gets old to get killed at the same spot over and over because of just some evil enemy placement. The key is getting your distance and trying to take out enemies from range, but because you can only attack forward and most of the more brutal enemies are ranged with homing ability, the enemies just seem so much stronger than you, which is what makes it so punishing before you really even get any power-ups or anything. It's a nicely laid out map with branching off hidden rooms full of treasure and health upgrades, and there's occasionally some secret uber monsters that aren't full bosses but hit hard and are clearly meant to be a skill challenge in an already hard game. Needless to say, I didn't really do well against those. I want to like this one more. It checks all the boxes and I love Metroidvania games, but the difficulty was off-putting for me specifically, even if I liked the graphical presentation of it all. There's some other games that have a similar look and feel that I also really like, such as Touhou Luna Nights and Time Spinners. And I personally like those more because the difficulty is a little bit more well-balanced, but this is still a solid Metroidvania game for veterans that love a challenge. I might have chickened out, but I'd still give this a play. Just know it's not a casual game, and it won't be for everyone. But I don't think any game in this series has been a universal recommendation so far, hence why we have no completes. And I guarantee the next one won't be a universal recommendation either, but until then,